Hey everyone, Morgan here. So today we're going to be talking about intel and gathering intel during times of crisis and just in every day. I think we need to make it a priority to make sure that we're gathering intel from a variety of sources, not just one or two sources. And ham radio is a great way to gather intel. So we're going to show you our setup. We do have a setup in the Jeep, which I've shown before. But we're going to show a kind of more, a setup that has a little more reach.
Home base.
A little more home base, that's right. So up there, that's our antenna. You put it all the way up there, so we should get some pretty good reach. Let's go inside and get set up.
So we don't have a permanent location for our radio inside the RV. The entire radio kit is basically all within this one case. We've done a video on this before, but over here is, the main control unit, the microphone, all this stuff just comes out and gets set up wherever we need it. There's a few accessories like, the power cables and a couple other small cables that are needed for setting it up. So whenever we need to set it up right now, we just basically bring it over here by our table and set it up. Like I said, there's nowhere permanent for it. It's just kind of goes where necessary.
All right, so we got it set up here. There you go. And we're getting it set up to the...
So that's the channel of the repeater back in San Antonio that we used to get on, but we're going to flip over to the 2-meter national channel.
So right now we are using power from the RV. Basically, we have to turn on our inverter, which draws powers from our solar batteries, essentially. And so it doesn't draw a ton. We really want to do a dedicated 12-volt power, but this is fine. It'll be all right for a temporary, but that's definitely what we want to do to get better power. I mean, this is fine power, but, dedicated 12-volt would be nice.
So we've got it set up right now to the 2-meter national call-in frequency. But the cool thing is, with our ham radio, we can just dial in whatever frequency we want. We can save stuff. We can also get cool stuff like the weather channel. This This radio has all of the weather channel frequencies pre-programmed into it. If your radio doesn't, you can always just switch it off.
That's a good way to know that your antenna is working. By getting access to the weather channel.
Yeah. So you also don't need to have a big fancy radio or anything. We also have smaller radios like these little cheap Baofangs. These Baofangs also have removable antennas, which is great because you can connect it to external antennas out like on the roof to get better distance out of them.
Okay, so no matter what type of setup you have, you either need to have your license and know how to use this stuff, or you need to contact a local ham club and get the frequency so you can listen only. You do not need your license in order to listen, but you can only listen. However, in an emergency situation,
In a life or death.
Right, in a life or death emergency situation, you can reach out for help without a license, right? But you need to understand how to reach out for help, what frequencies are nearby, all those kinds of things, how to actually reach out for help to reach somebody, you know what I mean?
And if you don't have your license, you're not going to have the opportunity to practice these things, to get familiar with them, to be able to use them in an emergency situation. You don't need to be learning this stuff as a pandemic is happening.
Yeah. So that's why I always suggest that people just get their license, even if you're not going to be so active on it. Once you get your license, you learn more than you ever will from the books because you're active, you're getting involved with your local hams, you're talking to hams, you're super active in the community. No matter what you do, the best thing that you can do in order to listen is to understand your local and national frequencies, repeaters, and to just understand what those are, and then scanning and listening as during an emergency all the time. Some people have their radio set up literally 24/7, and that's fantastic. You know, you can listen to a wide variety of emergency stuff, just people chatting, but it's all about knowing those local and national frequencies and repeaters and having them programmed in well ahead of emergencies, so that you can just immediately go to it and just start scanning and trying to listen, or reach out if you have to. All right, now we're going to do a little test. They're going to drive away, and they have, we have a ham set up. See, that's our antenna right there. I don't know. That's our setup right there. See our ham antenna there? We have a ham in our Jeep. Okay, so they're going to drive away. Last time we were in the Jeep, we were actually reaching people like 10 miles away. There goes Miles. Miles! Miles! Okay, so right now we're at 5 watts, so I'm actually going to turn it down to 3 watts. Okay, I turned it down to 3. Another part about ham is understanding how to use the radio as well.
Still there? I can't hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I can barely make you out. Go ahead and bump up the power again back to 3.
Okay. I bumped it to 5.
Right this second, I think I'm about 5 miles away.
So 5 miles. He sounds really clear. Copy. We were having a little trouble with how he was hearing me, so I just had to up the power a little bit, and mic gain, just kind of play with it.
Away.
Yes, I copy. Are you hearing me? Do you copy?
I know I copy. I'm probably about 6 miles away now.
So I'm not only just adjusting the power, but I'm also adjusting the mic gain as well, so that he can hear me, I can hear him, all that good stuff. I can hear him crystal clear, so that's good. But, you do also want to make sure that you're being heard as well in case you ever need to reach out for help. So doing testing and understanding the capabilities of your radios.
You still hear me?
Crystal clear, can you hear me? And also, a couple very important things to keep in mind is going to be the type of terrain, getting up into higher, higher spots is definitely going to get better signal. If you go deep into a canyon, you're not going to get very good signal.
Are you still there?
Ham, any sort of radio does take power. Okay, so that's another consideration with your Intel. How are you going to power this stuff? You can power it with solar. Like we have solar, and we're powering this right now with our solar.
Thanks, that. Thank you.
You're coming in gargled. I can kind of hear you.
I was some dips in the road where I could clearly see that it was not good. I'm over here almost to the pavement. I'll go ahead and turn around.
Okay, and how many miles would that be?
Around almost 10.
So just about 10 miles and still hearing you clear. So just about 10 miles with still hearing perfectly clear. And that's another thing with ham, is that the signal between ham and CB, completely different, and you just don't get as much range with a CB. You may be able to have a CB or other types of radios, without a license. You can get certain frequencies without a license, but really, I'll never stop advocating ham, because I was a CB person for a long time, and I thought it was just the bee's knees, right? And I have no problems. And our friend kept saying, dude, get ham, get your license, come on. And then we finally did, and our whole world was changed. It was just a completely different world. Seriously. You get better range. And also, it is about the antennas as well. The antennas will get you the reach. Okay, we have a pretty good antenna right now. And even in our Jeep, we have a pretty good antenna. We were actually getting about 10 miles or more range, especially when we were up on some big hills, when we were driving around. When we were talking to somebody the other day, at least 10 plus miles, maybe 10 or 20 miles, because he was out pretty far on the highway, and we were kind of getting towards into the middle of the desert. Anyway, even with our radio in the Jeep, we were getting some really good distance. So height as in you get to a top of a mountain, or height as in the type of antenna, is really going to make a huge difference as far as reach. We can set up a huge antenna, and we did for a field day back in the day. A couple years ago, we did field day, and we had this huge antenna going. It was a lot of fun, and we reached people in Canada. It was awesome. So yeah, anyway, intel with ham, even if you can listen, is a really good idea. Getting one of these little radios, the Baofangs are really popular. They work really well as far as I'm concerned. You can hook up to an external antenna with this. You can program it really easily. You can program this one really easily as well. Just talk to your local club and make sure that you're listening, and if you don't have your license, to only reach out if you're in a kind of a life or death situation, an emergency situation. And hams will try to do their best to send information along. That's part of the ham code, essentially, you know. So anyway, that's our video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any other questions about ham or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us in the comments down below. And if you really like this video, please don't hesitate to visit me on Patreon or on my website at ropepreparedness.com. And I will see you guys later. All those links and everything in the description. Talk to y'all later. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.